Hello everyone and welcome back to another totally broken solo opinion on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm sick. I have contracted the monkey virus that makes you dumb. So apologies for that, but I thought I'd get us a episode out on the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie because I enjoyed the Caesar trilogy, and this is a continuation of that, set a couple hundred years in the future, and yeah, around 3 centuries apparently. Oh, after Caesar's death. I've got the Wikipedia page up. Oh, I didn't contract this cold until after I watched the movie, so yay. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I don't know what else there is to say. Podcast over. No. This movie, I found, so full spoilers ahead, I found this movie slow off the bat, because a lot of it is establishing new characters, and you've got to engage with what they're trying to do. So the new main chimpanzee protagonist, ape, is Noah, and his clan is falconers. Falconry people. They raise falcons and eagles and shit like that. And so the establishing thing is they've got to grab an egg from an eagle up high where the birds have nested, and then take it back, and it's a coming of age thing. And then Noah's kind of like shy but curious and stuff like that, so him and his friends and whatnot. Visually, all of the apes look really good. Like it's very difficult to be taken out of it when you're seeing like these monkeys and apes on screen, and you're like, oh yeah, no, these are generally really engaging character. Like you don't get pulled out because you're like, oh yeah, the hair's not moving, or the they don't look like apes. But yeah, so technically top notch. Story wise, like I said, takes a bit of a while to get going. You've got to establish all these new characters. You got to establish the time lapse of things. I didn't expect them to open on Caesar's death and then cut to the thing. I thought we'd just get thrown straight in and we'd have hints towards the past. But no, straight away we get like the burial of Caesar, and then like the apes together strong motion, and then we cut to the new ones, and yeah, I thought it was okay. We get a sense of his family, and how his father is the head falconer, and the dad's eagle hates him, and so obviously, you know that the bird's is gonna respect him at the end, because his egg gets broken, and so he goes out to try and find another egg before the ceremony opens, because it's the next day, and then you stumble upon an attacking tribe of apes who killed the sentry guy who was sent out to look, because they'd found they'd seen an echo, which is what they call humans, or saw something that resembled an echo while they were on their trip. And then the dad, because he comes out, they're looking for the girl who you've seen in the trailers, and so they come and basically destroy the village. I thought that whole sequence really good. I like the fight between the big gorilla and the dad and the son, Noah. I thought that was really well done, because it sets up the stakes, because this gorilla is a really fucking imposing character, and you get to see the sheer strength difference between the characters, whereas the chimpanzees have cunning, the gorillas have pure strength, which is kind of similar to what they had in the original trilogy. And yeah, I thought, so yeah, then once that happens, Noah's presumed dead because he falls out of a building, and then every one of his villager who basically resisted gets taken away. Who all the ones who resist die, and a lot of the ones who probably don't resist, and then the ones who don't resist get taken away and captured. And so Noah sets out to try and find them, to bring them back home. Along the way, he finds Raka, an orangutan, orangutan. One of my favorite characters in this movie. Noah, a little bit generic, hero type. Raka's just having the time of his life, until he's not. And he's like, because the other apes, when they were attacking the village, were saying in the name of Caesar, and so they're barbarian, and they're like, apes together strong, we are the dominant species, humans lesser than us. And then Raka comes in and teaches Noah Caesar's teachings were that humans and apes were close and stuff like that, and they weren't meant to be dominating and stuff like that, and all the lovey-dovey stuff that Caesar did to teach. Because at that point, Noah is like, I don't like Caesar. Caesar's a cunt. Why are these people coming and doing this under the name of Caesar? So Raka's like, no. This is what Caesar was actually talking about. I thought that whole bit was nice. I love the aesthetic of like the old decrepit buildings with all the greenery on them. It reminds me very much of The Last of Us, where all of those buildings are just covered in green, and it's like a wasteland. And I found it really gave me that vibe, and that's what I was hoping it would look like in the Last of Us TV series, which it didn't end up. Like, they had bits, but I was like, this is what I would have loved if you'd gotten these massive shots and they were like properly wasteland, archaic cities. Whereas I think in the show it wasn't as bad. What else? Then we get introduced, because May's been basically piggy-tailing, running around, following Noah throughout this whole sequence, and she finally reveals herself because she's freezing and cold, and Raka's like, no, humans are good. And so he throws some food to her. She comes in. Noah's like, no, I don't trust her. Don't give her my mum's blanket, because I'm going to give that to my mum when she's back. But Raka's like, show humility or humanity to these creatures, compassion and stuff like that. And so he does, begrudgingly. And you're like, oh, maybe there's going to be like a friendship there. Maybe they're going to learn to treat each other nice. And you also don't know that she can talk yet, because she's just doing grunts and stuff. And then that was the moment I liked. So they find a whole bunch of little humans running around at a watering hole, and they find zebras, and they're like, what the fuck are these? Because they know what horses are, because they got horses, but they'd never seen zebras. And I did like that the apes like have intelligence, but they don't have like the lifetime of knowledge that humans had gathered and expressed and shown, because the humans created everything, but the apes don't know how any of it works. So like the electric pike spike things are terrifying to them, because they don't know what the fuck these are. They don't know what electricity is, but somehow these apes are wielding it, and you later find out that a human has helped make them, and the main apes, Proximus Caesar, the bad ape, is looking for that knowledge so that he can learn how to make all of this stuff that humans did. And you're like, oh damn. But yeah, so the moment that I enjoyed was when so they basically stumble upon the apes who were tracking them to find the girl, and so there's a big chase, and she's hiding in the grass. You've seen it in the trailers. I don't think you've seen the moment where she yells Noah, which is the first time you hear her speak. And I did like the parallel between that and Caesar's first time speaking, where it's no. And I like that I imagine, I don't know if that was an intentional choice to name him Noah so that they could have the first line of the human be Noah, because then it's the same basic line, and you're like, oh, she can speak. And you do see the realization on her brain that's like, oh yeah, no, if I don't call out to this guy, I will die. And so he comes and saves her. Then they do a little bit of bashy to the apes. And then they get away. And then they cross in a bridge. And sadly, Raka dies. They get captured. I like that sequence. I found it a bit contrived. It's like, oh, okay. How did they know that they'd be there? I guess it's the only way into the village or the area. So they probably know the area pretty well, because that was the whole thing. Noah's tribe's been isolated. Like, they've stuck to their region and nowhere else, because they're, like, closed off and all encompassed. And then... Oh, yeah, the main girl's name is May. I don't know if I said that. M-A-E, apparently. And so, yeah, so Raka either dies, it's left ambiguous. It's not, he basically gets swept away off a waterfall. So there's potential, because at the, oh, okay, so yeah, there's apparently an end credit noise, and you can apparently hear a guttural orangutan noise, according to Wikipedia. I didn't stick around to the end credits because I'd heard there was no end credits. This is just a noise, kind of like in Endgame, where it's just the hammer clanging. So, yeah, I guess if they're saying guttural orangutan, then it probably is Raka. But, hey, look, could be. It might just be it was just an ape noise. I don't know if it's specifically the orangutan. I didn't hear it. So, yeah, he gets pushed off a waterfall. Noah and May get captured. They get dragged to the camp in a abandoned like boating area where all the ships have crashed, and there's a massive vault. And all I could think was Fallout TV series. What wonderful villages are we gonna get, and what experiments gonna have taken place in it? Sadly, nothing avails of that. There probably is an experiment in there, but you don't see it all. But yeah, so it turns out that Proximus Caesar is the head honcho of this base, and he's been reading, like, he's had a human teaching him about human history and all of this, and so like the Roman Empire is apparently his favorite, so that's where he's gone for Caesar. And you're like, maybe he's not talking about actual Caesar the ape. But then again, he might be, because he does refer to there as an ape at the beginning. So I like how Caesar's become this mythical being through the history. And so yeah, then they run into, May gets separated from Noah. Noah gets sent to the ape section where they're doing manual labor, trying to open this vault. And because they're apes, they don't know what they're doing. They've figured out explosives because the guy has taught them, but it's one of those massive like Vault-Tec vaults, so it's like proper locked, and you're never going to open it by pulling. So they're trying to pull it, and it's like maybe tomorrow. And then yeah, so I did enjoy the villain. I think he's a bit. He had a point, like. He basically points to Noah that humans can never be trusted, and that he should be careful around May, and May hasn't told him the whole story. And then it's revealed through, I think, him that May basically was with other humans trying to get into that vault to discover a hard drive, I think, so that she can then take it back to her, or at least another settlement of humans, in order to like get in contact with other civilizations, basically. And so you're like, oh, she's lied to him because she only comes to help because he's... I don't know. I don't think she's ever helped. I think she's like, oh yeah, I know where your family is. That's why. So he's following her because she's been there before because she wants to get the knowledge. And she knows how to open the vault, basically. And I like the reveals. The reveals happen, but I'm kind of like, okay, cool. And then we basically get Noah and May's confrontation about how they are basically just using each other to get their end goal. And Noah's like, will the water of the... Because they've dammed off, like, the sea so that they can get to the vault, basically. And on the beach. And so Noah's like, will this water destroy what's in the vault? And she's like, yes. And then you know how to get in, because it's revealed she knows how to get in. And so they climb up this sheer rock face, and he goes and gets his friends, because his friends are alive. And his mum's alive. And then he has a little chat with an eagle, because the eagle's got to respect him now. And throughout the movie, the eagle's been shitting on him and banging him and scratching him. And it's like, no, Brad, don't. Oh, my God, my fucking throat. I hate this monkey disease. Why did I have to get this stupid dying... Fuck. So yeah, what else? It's a very straightforward plot. It's revenge turns to intrigue, because you're like, where's he gonna find? How's he gonna get there? What's the mystery? And I think my main downside is it does meander a bit too much. Like, I generally think the beginning is too long. It's only an hour and 45. It's a 145-minute movie, so it's only 2 hours, give or take. 2 hours 20, I think. Yeah, 2 hours 25. So it's like a long movie, and I feel like you could cut maybe 10, 20 minutes out of the beginning and like maybe the middle as well, just to speed it up a bit. But I understand why, because you got to establish the new world, you got to establish these new characters. The friends are kind of It's like, oh yeah, the love interest of the ape love interest that she is like, oh yeah, I thought they were dating. Apparently they weren't dating. The shy friend who's like, yeah, you can't do anything without me. And it's like, oh yeah, okay. The mom, cool. Fun thing I learned about the other Planet of the Apes movies was apparently they made I can't remember which character it is. I think it's the love interest of Caesar, like his wife. They went, we gotta find the sexiest female ape to like model this off. So they modeled like Caesar's wife off of like really sexy apes, like female apes. And I'm just like, how do you determine what a sexy female ape looks like? And it's just like, oh yeah, a lot of ape titties in this movie as well. Because they're not wearing like covers, and it's just like little mounds. But you're like, oh, that's definitely an ape titty. And I'm just like, okay, cool. No, yeah, May also gets a bunch of costume changes as well, and it's just like, okay, because she's wearing like crappy jeans and a t-shirt, like wife beater. What are they called? Tank top. And then she gets, when she goes to the camp, she gets given some new clothes. And then at the end, she's wearing like really regal looking outfit. And I'm just like, why? Why are you wearing this? This does not look practical. So yeah, she has fun. But yeah, then we get, they sneak into the military base, bolt thing, climbing up the rock and then going in through the top, finding like the entrance to that and everything. they basically reveal it's a military bunker housing stockpiles of weapons, and like it used to be like a school. It looked like kind of like a mall. So there was just like massive like rows and rows of like different buildings, all on like a big commercial mall where there's just loads of banisters and railings and everything like that, and you have all the stores and everything, and like God, my brain is frying. This monkey disease. Woo, woo, woo. I'm dying. I'm becoming stupid. And so and then I don't know why they didn't go out the top before. But yeah, they decided to open the big. I guess because they'd already set up the explosive. Oh yeah, they killed the other guy. That was a moment I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. They just because there's another human there who's basically been giving them, because he's basically portrayed humanity. Because it's like, oh yeah, the humans, they have no chance. It's the apes world now, and if I'm gonna survive, I need to just give it to the apes, and I need to just help the apes because they'll keep me alive. Because this one seems interested in human technology and how to do it, and if I can survive, because they won't kill me if I just do it. So it's like, yeah. So yeah, that guy, he basically finds them when they're setting up the explosives, and he's like, yeah, no. May's like, oh, you just help us. And we can get out of this. Humans can survive, and we'll not. And he's like, nah, fuck that. And she just runs up behind him and chokes him out. And I'm just like, and then Noah and his friends are like, oh. And then they just dump him in the river, in the ocean. And I thought, sorry, because I thought because they just dump him, and it's at the just over the side of the things. So when they when they open the vault doors and the guys are the big bad guys at the end, Proximus, I thought they would have found the body, and then they would have known. Oh yeah, they either tried to escape or they went into tried to get into the vault because that's what she was originally trying to do. But he just seems to have known that they were gonna go and get in the vault, and it's kind of like, how did you know that? Because you're not really looking. There was nothing. I get it. Like somehow she manages to get out of her camp, room as well, which is high up in the boat, and it's just like, yeah, somehow she manages to just get out without any guards, even though there's a guy standing watch by the door, and they can have a little conversation in the room as well. So I was like, okay, there's some jumps in logic here, but it doesn't matter. And then it's like, okay, Proximus comes in, threatens all of the Noah's tribe, basically saying, well, I'll kill them all if you don't hand over May. And Noah's like, and May's like, I'm not going with these guys, and shoots the ape holding Noah's girlfriend, not girlfriend. And then, because she picked up a gun whilst in the building. And I love that. I love the moment that Proximus is just like, ooh, do you have any more of them? And it's just like, yeah, mate, there's loads in there. And then there's also loads of tanks and shit in there. And it's just like, yeah, if he had this, apes would rule. Because humans are fucked if they could get these. And it's like, oh yeah, no. Well, and then May runs off, leaving Noah after blowing up the dam. Because she's like, nah, fuck it, I don't care about these apes. I'm just getting the... Because she's been apprehensive about the apes throughout the entire movie, and you're like, is she going to learn to love the apes and respect them and coexist with them? And it's like, nah, I'm blowing up this dam and I'm running away. And so all of his family basically gets swept up. He gets his moment where he beats the gorilla that beat the shit out of his dad, because he basically drowns him. Because he's big and he's small, so he squeezes through all the pipes and shit, and the gorilla gets trapped, and then the water rushes up and drowns him, and it's just like a limp hand at the end, and you're like, oh, sad gorilla. He was just fighting for what he believed in. What a dick, though. And then, yeah, so they manage to escape. Proximus is then standing next to all of his tribe, beats the shit out of Noah. Noah then has a little sing-song, because that's how they trained the eagles. And And, that's the thing. Raka never got to hear the song. That was sad. Because Noah's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. It's embarrassing if you're not a part of the tribe. And I don't believe in it anymore because they're all dead, like all gone. And the Eagles won't listen to me because he didn't do his coming of age thing. And so he then gets his, I'm going to sing my song to get more, because all the Eagles are hovering around. And then Proximus gets pecked to death and gets thrown off an edge of a cliff. Which is why I was like, okay, what? Because I'd heard that there was a guttural, or like there was a noise at the end of like an ape breathing. So that's why I thought, because this villain was pretty good. Like, I imagine they could have more with this villain where they bring him back and he's like scarred and like coming back for revenge against Noah and stuff like that, and he salvages what's left of the vault and reverse engineers it and stuff, and then Noah has to go and help get the humans to help, and then you kind of have that, and then you can end on a dour note where Proximus does come back and win, kind of like Empire Strikes Back. That one everyone loved, the middle one. Apparently we're getting 5 movies of this. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot. And then, and then it's, so he gets pecked and thrown off the edge of a cliff and bashes himself. Aquaman 2, Black Manta. No, Aquaman 1, Black Manta style, where you just see him bash against the rocks a bunch. And that was why, like, he could come back, I guess. So hopefully he does. Hopefully they both come back, because I like both those characters. And then, Noah's tribe leaves. May turns back up and goes, sorry about that. And Noah's like, can humans and apes ever coexist? Whilst it cuts to May holding a gun, the gun she shot the guy with. And it's like, yep. And then it cuts to her traveling to a human settlement with a bunch of satellites. She gives the code cipher hard drive thing that she has to the humans inside who are operating. They can all talk, by the way, apparently. So they've probably been in there for years. And then they get a communication back. And, that was the thing. There's a moment where Noah sees through a telescope and it blows his fucking mind. Because he can see space and no monkey has ever seen space. And that was the bonding moment between him and May, because May looks through the telescope as well, and he sees the same expression that he made, and he's like, oh yeah, no, this human's special because she can emote like I can, and it's not just a deadpanned, like, weird, diseased person. And then Noah takes his girlfriend, Sonna, apparently, to go look at the telescope again, and they're like, what's to come? Because, Spaceman coming back and Charlton Heston going, no. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this movie. I think it's probably in the middle for me. I'd have to sit on it for a bit. I'd have to rewatch it again. I do like the 3 movies. I haven't watched Dawn or War. I think it's Rise, Dawn, War, right? I haven't watched Dawn or War in a while. I watched Rise recently, and I did enjoy it. But yeah, I think overall, this movie was good. I think technically, the visual... It's nice to see movies where the visuals are just refined, and they're not missing pieces, and you're like, I can clearly see where that's CGI. Where you do look at these, and you go, yeah, that is an actual ape on screen doing this. You're like, it doesn't take you out even if it's doing weird things and the faces look a bit human-like, because they have a lot more expression on this, and you can clearly tell that they've refined it, and it's all very nice. I liked all the environments. I liked all the areas. I think everything looked really nice. I think the story is a bit straightforward, but this is apparently the first of 5 movies, so we'll see, because apparently they're making 9 or so maybe 6 movies. Because they want to apparently make 9 movies from the Apes trilogy. So, who knows where this is going. I am curious to see what happens if they do continue this, if we'll ever see May or Noah again, or if they'll just completely cut to a different group of characters. I think all the performances were good. I think everyone does a good job. Yeah. Other than that, there's not much I can say. Other than, I think you should go see it. I think this is doing better than most movies out at the moment because it's a known franchise and people are like, oh yeah, I like those. I think the Planet of the Apes movie, like trilogy that came out, I think from like 2014 to 2018, 2019. I can't remember what the time period was. Maybe 2012. Let's have a look. Let's find out when the Apes movies. 2011, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and War of the Planet of the Apes, 2017. Okay, so a 6-year period, so a movie every 2 years, roughly, if Dawn came out in 2014. So yeah, 2011, 2014, 2017, a movie every 3 years, basically. And then 2017, so this would have been, wow, this is a long time coming, because 2017... That's 7 years. Wow. I do believe that is a really strong trilogy of movies. Like, if you put it up against some of the best trilogies in film history, I think those would, like, they're just really all solid movies. I don't think there's a single one that's bad. Like, I think they just have, like, the best consistency across them. I think the character development and stuff gets really good and better and all of this, and for Andy Serkis's performance is really good. So hopefully this does the same thing, and this builds on that legacy. It seems to be going in the right direction. It's a pretty decent start. 20th Century Studios. Okay, so it will be coming to Disney. Oh yeah, because it's so it will come to Disney Plus at some point if you don't watch it in cinemas. But yeah, hopefully, unlike the Fantastic Beasts franchise that Warner Brothers owns, where they said we'll make 5 movies of those, and then basically bailed after the third one because they had diminishing returns and no one liked them. Hopefully this gets at least a trilogy. I'd be happy with a trilogy, and then maybe another trilogy if they reboot it again. But I just want to see how they're going to bring back the people from space and time travel, because I want to see what the fuck happens. Because that's the weird part. That's because they're building to that. They're building to that reveal, which I find funny because the whole reveal of that movie is that the apes, it was Earth the whole time. And if you do that reveal in this new trilogy, you already know it's Earth. So that reveal doesn't really work. Because it's like, oh, the space people come back from space, and they're like, oh, it's what happened. The only way I think you could do that is if you didn't have it be titled a Planet of the Apes movie, and you just have it a space movie, and you market it as a space movie, like a time travel space movie where they come back, and you have it shot where it's very mysterious about what is actually coming to get them and what's captured them and what's happening, and then it's revealed, oh, it's the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's like when you watch the movie. But I don't think we live in a world where that would stay quiet or wouldn't leak. And also, I don't think people would go see it unless they hear about it being a Planet of the Apes movie. So I think the reveal of it being a Planet of the Apes movie would be ruined beforehand. But I think that would be the only way you can get that reveal to be, like, shocking. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this review, even though I'm sick and I'm dying and I'm going to get turned into a monkey for the next episode. I'm so tired. I've just got a cold and a headache, and it's just like, But yeah, I powered through. I got us a review. I think Dan will be back next week. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out YouTube's podcasting thing. So I had to make a video last time because YouTube's podcast thing didn't make the video because it couldn't apparently find the audio from the podcast feed. But who knows? I don't know if it's active yet. If you don't get a video immediately, it's because I've left it up to YouTube and YouTube's decided to fuck up. So I apologize. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.